We are live.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I'm Vice Mayor and Chair of the Boards and Commissions Committee, and I'd like to welcome everyone to the June 11th, 2024 remote meeting. All council member and staff are participating virtually, and to help our audience follow along, I'll state each section of the agenda aloud. And we are streaming live on the Virtual Engagement Hub, which is accessible through the Virtual Engagement Hub link on the front page of the city website. We also have an option for the public to listen live by phone. And for those of you out there with us today, we'd like to welcome you. And for today's meeting, we have the option for people to call in and comment live during the meeting. To call in and comment live, use the same number, 855-925-2801, meeting code 9478. At that time, your phone will be muted and you will hear the meeting live. And those of you that like to speak, you need to push *3 to enter into the speaking queue. And at this time, I'd like to go through and introduce the committee members and staff who are participating virtually. Council and staff, as I say your name, please say a quick hello. Councilwoman Antoinette Mosley.
Good afternoon.
Councilwoman Kim Rooney.
Good afternoon.
Assistant City Manager Ben Woody.
Good afternoon.
Assistant City Clerk Alex Smith. Okay, and we have also City Clerk Maggie Burleson.
Good afternoon.
Okay, at this time, we'll enter into our agenda. And the first thing on our agenda today will be to call the order and approval of the April 9th, 2024 minutes. Can I get a motion?
So moved. Second.
Okay, a motion and a second. This time I'll do a roll call. Councilwoman Antoinette Mosley.
Aye.
Councilwoman Rooney.
Aye.
And myself, aye, and the motion passes. And at this time, we will be taking public comment. So I'd like to ask Katie, do we have anyone in the queue?
One moment and I will check. No, we do not.
Okay, thank you. Next item on the agenda will be the new business. It's the board appointments. Maggie Burleson, the city clerk, will actually be doing the review of the board and commission's applications for recommendations to the city council.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you.
And this, I just want to say that the vote is on recommendation for we're voting on recommended to the full council, who will actually do the voting for it. Thank you.
Okay, I'll see if I can do this as good as Jerry and Sarah did. So bear with me here a little bit. Our first appointment is we have 2 vacancies for the Affordable Housing Advisory Committee. The chair supports Tara Irby and Chris Day for reappointment.
As the advisor, as a liaison to AHAC, when you're ready for a motion, I will move to support the chair's recommendation for both Tara and Chris.
Second. Okay. Thank you. We have a motion and a second. So, Councilwoman Antoinette Mosley.
Aye.
Councilwoman Kim Rooney.
Aye.
And myself, aye. So, motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you. We did not receive any applications for the African American Heritage Commission. We have 1 vacancy on that. And so we plan to re-advertise for the next round, if that's okay with the commission.
Is everyone okay with that? I'm fine with it. Okay, we got a nod. Thank you, Maggie.
Thank you. For the audit committee, we have 2 vacancies. The chair recommends that both candidates appear to be very qualified for a role on the committee. However, and actually Nate Hathaway, who the chair is eligible for reappointment and he is interested. For the other seat, the chair says both candidates are very qualified However, the liaison notes that Nate Uzinski is a city resident and the other is not.
So if I remember correctly, I feel like, if not the last time we appointed or the time before, we had the discussion about, because this is such a specific area of expertise, that we were willing to look for folks outside the city. So with that in mind, I'll just start by saying I'm not opposed to either of the recommendations for this particular committee.
Is that a motion?
And were you ready to say something? I move to accept the chair's recommendations. I have to go back and look at the names, but each of them, and quite frankly, I was having a difficult time pronouncing one of them.
So
But
I
now you will say the name.
to approve Nate Uzinski. And thank you, Antoinette, for pointing that out. I think we're lucky to have more than one option for the audit committee.
Thank you. So we have a motion and a second.
That's the second.
Okay. Councilwoman Antoinette Mosley,
Aye.
Councilwoman Rooney.
Aye.
And myself, aye. Motion passes.
And thank you. Can I just verify that you appointed Nate Uzinski and reappointed Nate Hathaway? Okay, thank you. For the boards and commission, or for the Board of Electrical Examiners, we have 5 vacancies at this point. 3 are eligible for reappointment and would like to be reappointed. This is a board that is very hard to fill because of the specific requirements on it. And the utility representative has recommended Travis Brooks from Duke Energy. He got his application in 1 day late, but I didn't know if council still wanted to consider him for the utility representative. And the layman position, they recommended William Joe Moore III. So there are 5 seats available, 3 reappointments, and the possible appointment of Travis Brooks and Willie Joe Moore III.
If we wanted to just wait until our next appointment process to consider the late application, we could, and I could make a motion for the other 4.
Okay. What do you think about that, Antoinette? If we have someone qualified, because it is so.
So my inclination was, even though it was a day late, to go ahead and take it. However,
Yes.
I'm willing to defer to Councilwoman Roney or to the Vice Mayor on this one, because I have a feeling that even if we defer it, we're still going to end up with the same person who applied
Yes.
a day late. That's my thought process.
Yes, I would be, Rooney, I would be in the position where I would like to sort of move forward with all 5 of the applications, if that's okay.
Vice Mayor, is that a motion?
I do, yes, okay. Yes,
I'll second.
okay, great. So this time we'll do a roll call. Councilwoman Mosley,
Aye.
Councilwoman Rooney,
Aye.
and myself, aye. Motion passes.
Regarding the Buncombe County TDA, I don't know if you want to wait on this one till the end to decide whether you want to interview for those positions. But I can tell you that the 2 gentlemen who are serving are eligible and they are interested. The 3 applicants that we received, none of them fit the bill for this particular seat. And your option is to reopen or reappoint the 2 or interview.
Well, I'll just say what I would like. I'm the liaison from TDA, and I was very impressed with both of these gentlemen and the terms that they've served. And even speaking with the chair, they would like to recommend both of these gentlemen be reappointed to the board. I don't see it necessary that we would have to interview either one of them again. I would like to make a motion that we reappoint Michael Lussick and Matthew Leadham to the board?
I'm happy to second your motion.
Thank you. At this time, I have a motion and a second. At this time, I take a vote. Antoinette Mosley. Councilwoman Mosley.
Aye.
Councilwoman Rooney.
Aye.
And-
With that formality passed, I still have that lingering memory that there are more than 101 homestay permit holders, right? So if we could find a way to get some more neighborhood voices at this table, I would love to see that process. Today we have reappointments on the table, but I just wanted to keep that somewhere on the front burner.
Yes, I could understand that. Thank you, Ms. Rooney. Okay, so I and myself, so motion passes. So we'll move on to the next appointment.
Thank you. The Community Entertainment Facilities Commission, which was formerly the Civic Center Commission, we have 3 vacancies on that board. 2, Brissa Sinkovic and John Pierce are both eligible and interested in reappointment. The 2 other gentlemen that applied, the chair recommended Sean, and I apologize, Comeaux, and staff liaison felt that either one of them would bring insight to the commission.
I'm happy to make a motion to reappoint Krista Sinkovic and John Pierce, and to appoint or recommend the appointment of Sean Como.
No, second.
Great. We have a motion and a second. Councilwoman Mosley.
Aye.
Councilwoman Rooney.
Aye.
And myself, aye. Motion passes.
Thank you. For the Historic Resources Commission, there are 2 vacancies. These must be city residents. The chair and staff liaison recommend the appointment of John Michael Henson and Clifford Holt. The 2 that are in there now are not interested in reappointment, and one is moving out of town.
Do we have a motion or comments? Well, I would like to say that I would like to make a motion to for the chair and staff's recommendation of John Michael Henson and Clifford Hope to fill the positions on the Historic Resource Commission.
Second.
Okay. A motion and a second. Councilwoman Mosley,
Aye.
Councilwoman Rooney,
Aye.
and myself, aye. Motion passes.
Thank you. For the Multimodal Transportation Commission, we have 4 vacancies on that particular one. 3 of them, Kenneth Armstrong, Joseph Chesler, and Elise Martyr, are all eligible and interested in reappointment. Those are filling specific seats. We have 1 vacant seat. It isn't at large. The commission recommends either Jake Smith, who is currently a member of NAC, and the NAC representative on on multimodal, or Kate Ryba. And there were concerns that if Mr. Smith joins as a member and someone else is appointed as the NAC liaison, then there would be 3 people representing NAC on the multimodal.
As the liaison to NAC, I really love attending their meetings and how eager they are to serve our community. The Neighborhood Advisory Committee only meets every other month. So I appreciate the willingness to serve on multiple boards. That said, we have several very engaged members of the multimodal that are willing to be reappointed. So I enthusiastically move to reappoint Kenneth Armstrong, Joseph Chesler, and Elise Martyr. And I know that we're looking at potentially reappointing Jake to the Neighborhood Advisory Committee today, but I think we would benefit from bringing Kate into the conversation in our advisory board. So I'm going to include a motion to appoint Kate Ryba to multimodal.
Second.
Okay, a motion and a second. Councilwoman Mosley,
Aye.
Councilwoman Rooney,
Aye.
and myself, aye. Motion passes.
Thank you. For the Neighborhood Advisory Committee, there are 2 vacancies. One is not interested in reappointment. However, Jake Smith is eligible and interested. The staff layer, the staff liaison recommends the appointment of Trevor William Schmidt and the reappointment of Mr. Smith.
Councilwoman Rooney, you had a comment?
Yes, the note that we have a member who's eligible for reappointment but isn't interested in continuing is our amazing chair, Babette Mays, who has served in multiple capacities in the city over the years and has been an excellent chair. Before she was the chair of the Neighborhood Advisory Committee, she was the vice chair. She's very engaged and will be missed in that table. So I didn't want to just miss the opportunity to say thank you to Babette at this level. That said, I am happy to move to reappoint Jake Smith and to appoint Trevor William Schmidt.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Councilwoman Mosley?
Aye.
Councilwoman Rooney?
Aye.
And myself, aye. And motion passes.
Thank you. For the Noise Advisory Board, we do have 2 vacancies, and the chair recommends Jay Saunders and Dr. Bruce Eichelheimer for the 2 specific seats.
I'm happy to make a motion to accept the chair's recommendations as the liaison to the Noise Advisory Commission.
Second?
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Councilwoman Mosley?
Aye.
Councilwoman Rooney?
Aye.
And myself, aye. So the motion passes.
I'm going to skip down to the Public Art and Cultural Commission. We have 2 vacancies on that particular board. One is not eligible for reappointment, and one on the Arts Agency seat, Katie Cornell, is eligible and interested. The chair recommends appointment of Charlie Huguenard to the vacant seat. So we have Katie Cornell and Charlie Huguenard. Apologize if I'm messing his name up.
I move to recommend both Katie and Charlie to the full council for appointment.
Second?
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Councilwoman Mosley?
Aye.
And Councilwoman Rooney?
Aye.
And myself, aye. Motion passes.
Thank you. And now regarding the Planning and Zoning Commission, the committee has a couple of options. We have 2 terms expiring and 1 vacancy on that board. There's been some confusion regarding the application deadline. We kept moving it because we wanted to have more people apply. And then we noticed that some were older than 6 months, and we had wanted them to get the current applications in so you'd have a little bit more information. And so we gave them a deadline. However, that deadline got out to others. And so there seems to be a big discrepancy on when the P&Z application deadline should be. However, that being said, the chair would like to reopen the application process to get a deeper pool of applicants. Don't know.
Yeah, I could say that I would be in agreement with that because I know of some people that wanted to apply, just haven't been able to get the applications in on time. So I think that's definitely, for me, I think that's the best way to go.
And I agree.
Kim, are you okay with that?
Oh yeah, so I guess this is pretty standard. So when we're having Planning and Zoning Commission meetings and we have 2 members resigning, their seats would still be eligible to continue until their seats are reappointed, right?
That's correct.
Whereas we have a 3-member Planning and Zoning.
The chairman is interested in reappointment. He's eligible and is interested. And Susan Bean is not interested in reappointment. However, she'll stay on until her successor is appointed. So we do have just 1 solid vacancy on that board.
Thank you.
And my next question is, does the boards and commissions committee want to do the interviews themselves on August 27, or on August 27, do you want the entire council to do the interviews?
I would prefer the entire council. Does anyone else have any preference?
I'm fine with the entire council too.
Okay,
Agreed.
therefore, we need to get a motion if council is agreeable to cancel the July 9 boards and commissions meeting, because we don't have any appointments on that date, and there's not a council meeting on that date. So we're asking for a motion to cancel the 7-9 meeting.
So can we not do this as the committee? Or are you saying that has to go?
No. No. I'm
I will-
asking for a
I will
motion.
happily make that motion, Maggie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Councilwoman Antoinette Mosley,
Aye.
Councilwoman Rooney,
Aye.
and myself, aye. Motion passes.
Thank you. And while we're canceling meetings, because the Planning and Zoning Commission applicants will be determined at the August 27 formal council meeting, there is no need for you to have your August 13 Boards and Commissions Committee meeting. So if you'd like, could I get a motion to delete the August 13 Board and Commission meeting?
So move to cancel the August 9th Boards and Commissions Committee meeting due to planning and zoning interviews being held by the full council.
Perfect. And I believe it's August 13.
August 13.
Thank you.
Great. So we have a motion and a second. Councilwoman Mosley,
Aye.
Councilwoman Rooney,
Aye.
and myself, aye. Motion passes.
Thank you. And I think I've muddled through that. And
Great job, Maggie.
I'll let you take over.
Okay. Well, the next thing on our agenda is the public comment.
I'm sorry. I think we have.
The summit.
Wait, I'm just. Okay, I'm sorry.
Item 3 on our agenda would be Planning and Urban Design Department Board and Commission Summer Leadership Summit.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. And that is being presented by Stephanie Dahl. I'm sorry, Stephanie. I got so excited with all the cancellations going on. I was thinking.
Thank you, Councilwoman Kilgore. Thank you, Chair. Yes, my name is Steph Munson-Dahl. I'm the Director of the Planning and Urban Design Department. Thanks for giving our team a few minutes today to let you know what we plan on doing at the end of July. You've received a memo, and what we've outlined in there for you is that our team of 22 staff manages 8 out of the 24 solid advisory boards at the city. About a year ago, our team grew. We merged people from DSD with people from the old planning department and realized that we had been operating a little bit differently when it comes to supporting our boards and commissions. We also had quite a bit of employee turnover, and we had a lot of board and commission member turnover. And all of those things happening at once made us realize that we had one goal that was the same as all of our board and commission volunteers, and that is to create an awesome environment for people to make an impact on their community. But that we had all different ways of thinking of how that was going to happen, and that we did not have a support structure or system in place to really be as successful as we all wanted to be. So taking into context some of the work of the realignment working group and understanding what they had already figured out through surveys, both of board and commission members and actually of staff in this past year, and having conversations with our chairs and executive committees, we created a document that divides those concerns into 3 main areas. And they really are about how our boards and commissions can make more of a productive and meaningful impact. And an example of that might be like, how do they better align with city council priorities and know what adopted goals we are working on at any one time so that we could row our boats together. So that's one of the things that people are interested in. The second area we discovered was that people are really not quite sure of what the rules of procedure are for their specific boards. Each board is beautiful and unique, and they all have different charges, powers, and duties. And that means that they're all going to operate in slightly different ways. We have some kind of overarching things and some rules and procedures that our city clerk's office provides for us that's really helpful. But people wanted to get a little bit more granular about how we operate in meetings and outside of meetings as well. And then the third area was really about staff or organizational support. And an example of one of these concerns would just be like, can we get better AV systems in our first floor conference room so that when people are watching these meetings online, they can actually see the presentation that's happening? So we're actually working on that. And I believe that that's coming up this fall. So maybe by the end of the year, right, Maggie? Is that right? Yep. So we actually are working on that one. So those are the three main buckets that we're looking to address. We will never be able to address all of the concerns in 1, 2, or 3 hour meeting, but we'll be able to get together and make a big start at it. We're going to be having a member of the School of Government help facilitate the meeting. And we're not only going to have our Planning and Urban Design managed boards attending, 3 people per, so that we don't have a quorum. We are inviting the chairs or their designee from 6 other boards where there is just a significant and regular overlap of the policymaking arenas. So this is all happening at the end of July. We wanted to let you know that this was happening and to get any initial feedback from you all about what, these are your advisory boards, what you might want to see happen for improvements. And then also wanted to just note that I think it would be great to come back and report back to you what we learned at that summit. And if you have any questions that I can write down to make sure that we address them, then I can report back on specific things. So if anyone have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them or just hear any feedback.
Can you remind us the date of the summit, Stephanie?
Right now it's July 30th at 11 a.m. We'll be holding this at Harrah's.
Great. I'm looking forward to hearing about the conversation.
Thank you.
Okay, do you have any other comments or questions for Stephanie? Okay. We have no unfinished business. Next thing on the agenda, if I'm right, is public comment. Katie, do we have anyone in the queue?
One moment, let me double check. No, we do not.
Okay. With that being said, I'd like to say that for the future agenda items, we have updates from the realignment working group. We also follow up on reports for reports and issues form, and also outreach efforts and updates that'll be coming in the future. Do we have any other questions or comments from any council members before we adjourn?
No, just see you tonight.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.